Hi everyone, my name is Jordash, and I'm speaking on behalf of Innovative Potential today. Today I'm giving appreciation and acknowledgement for about 6 years worth of work that has gone into Innovative Potential. And I'm basically going to be reading and telling a little bit of story of sort of like the path of innovative potential. So we're going to start at the bottom and work our way to the top. Starting with the most recent thanks. They're new, but they make my life easier. These people make my life easier because they get it in some way, shape, or form, and that is absolutely invaluable. So if you're watching this later on, that's what we did. So I'm going to move out of the way and zoom in a bit so that people can see. The way this is broken down is that it's going to be broken down based on sort of like time segments. So it's broken into 3 different time segments right now. There's this past year. Then there's the COVID era, the more intense COVID era, and then there's sort of the pre-existing world, the foundational stage, and then there's the going all the way back to making it sort of where it all started, where it all began, and then that's going to make the company sort of this is the foundation of the company. We have what we need to be able to do some really big and good stuff, and without further ado kind of thing, I'm gonna slide over to the edge here. I'll go on this side and sort of start. So these are the acknowledgements for 2022. Basically what we're doing here is just basically since the start of the calendar year, since all the people that these are the people that I primarily worked with this past calendar year, and so we'll start with the professional thanks, starting with Kirsten Breckenridge and Jesse LaVille at the TD Dominion Bank. They were able to get me out of a bad banking situation, wherein by changing banks, my life was made better and easier, and so was Innovative Potentials. So far they have been absolutely fantastic to just sort of like get brought up to speed and take the time to actually listen to like this is what we have, this is what we're doing, this is what we're trying to build. It is a complicated situation, but it's knowable and understandable, and it has been simplified and de-risked. So they have been absolutely fabulous to just sort of like, work as I need it, when I need it, for Innovative Potential, or as Innovative Potential needs it. And they've been they're like they're sort of like a minty, they're minty. I like them. I'd like to also say thanks to Buffalo Registered Agents Limited Liability Company. They're part of our new expansion for this upcoming calendar year, and they have been really helpful in getting the limited liability corporation set up. So we have plans for that, and that's going to be coming. But thanks to them for helping me get that far. MasterCard has been with me since the start. I've been with MasterCard for 25 years, and they have been fantastic. BMO Bank of Montreal for their debit account and financial transactions. They're sort of they know why. But the Lloyd Marketing Group, she got this woman, Ms. Lisa Lloyd, she's married, Mrs. Lloyd, she's married. She is fantastic. She is a woman who has gone through the patenting process 7 times throughout her career. She's put it up onto YouTube. She has made something that is typically very intuitive, but extremely difficult to work out in the smallest, tiniest of resolution and details. She has made this huge YouTube and educational resource center for taking your idea and turning it into money, and basically turning it into money, and being able to live off of an idea, and turning that idea into something that's, you know, intellectual property. She goes through intellectual property. She goes through prototyping and development resources. She goes into being able to access people in corporations to say, you're already making this, but if you did it this way, you know, do it the new invention way, and it's made better. Or test it, or do. She's extremely hands-on, and she is accessible. I've spoken to her. She's been a great support coach, and she cares about the process, and she cares about you in the same breath. To have her be that forerunner is she's someone to look up to. If you've ever get involved in intellectual property development, go and see Lloyd Marketing Group. Google it. She has she has a lot of stuff. Start with the Lloyd Marketing Group and the YouTube for it, and branch out from there. She goes and she offers online courses. She's done a couple of Shark Tank products on Shark Tank. But the beautiful thing about her is that she teaches you the failure. And this is extremely important from what I've been through also. So she teaches you the failure, but she teaches you the resiliency to it's like, find the failure. She's basically saying, find the failure first and then build off of that. So if you have this great idea and product, build the first thing that fails, so that you never have to almost deal with it again. You're gonna deal with other stuff, but she, like, I can't sing her praises enough. So I've spoken with her. She's great. Like wow, just wow kind of thing. Go check her out, because she's her own little spitfire. Maker North Incorporated, Riley Drover and Joseph Bertrand. Riley has worked with me in the past for real-time 3D design, graphic design, and 3D printing. So basically, it's me telling the idea to Riley as he does the 3D modeling on the computer, and that is getting stuff. He's great to get stuff perfect with. As much as the design is new or old, or the unit has to be made, making sure that it fits certain parameters and qualifications with me was what he did best. It was great to work with him. These people will be repeated later on, so they have a whole story and history here. Gowing WG, Dr. Chris Baum, and we need a penner. Without these two individuals, Innovative Potential Intellectual Property would not be secured. They're the patenters. Go see them. They work with you. Patenting can be a little bit of a process. But at the same time, it is really it's as much sort of like a team effort as it is like, this has to be made right. And I've talked about that in other places. I'm just saying thanks here. And from Innovative Potential Incorporated, Kelly Boudreau and Vince Boudreau for consultation. So full disclosure, Kelly and Vince are my mother and father. One works industrial specializations, and the other is in home health care right now. And their two intersecting viewpoints grounds a lot of what innovative potential is. We're going for a medical device, but that medical device still affects the person with at-home care. The person with, you still have that, really grounded house with, here is this like mega massive industrial structure that, is responsible for whole towns existing. So that's sort of the thank you, the first of many thank yous. And the personal thanks, those are professional thanks for the business itself. My personal thanks are to my mother, my father, my brother, and my extended families and their members. Without whom, it's sort of like they in their jobs help me in mine. So I can bounce ideas off of my aunt who is a chartered accountant. So I'm like, okay, what am I doing with this? She's like, I don't know. but then you come to see, okay, well, what is the context? What is happening there? It's like, oh, okay, well, you can do this. You cannot do this. You can, like dodge the pitfalls. Don't get stuck here because people get stuck here because it's not for you. Like, so it's like, here are the rules, and like, this is where these rules are, kind of thing. This is what we do within the rules, and they're fantastic. So we're gonna do a glory shot of the logos of all of these fine, fantastic people, and their representative corporations. So that's always good. And then move on. We're gonna peel this off and go deeper into the past again, because we go back into the COVID era from 2019 to 2021, and even though a lot of the people are repeated, so people come in and come out during everyone's life, but they come in a different capacity, and their story grows and changes with the growth of the corporation. So many times it's like, even my own mother and father relationship with the company, not with me, but with the company, changes in their capacities over time because of the success of the company. So the company succeeds and gets a new challenge, and then that becomes a new set of challenges that sort of everybody gets to input on and weigh in on and understand and know. So here are their logos. We're going to start from the bottom again and work our way to the top. So thank you to MasterCard for credit lending. We've been with MasterCard since the start. BMO and Bank of Montreal also for their debit accounting and financial transactions for Innovative Potential. BDO and Chris Sonata, he for tax education, consulting, and filing services. Most recently, the tax situation has changed for Innovative Potential, so a lot of it's sort of if you love it, let it go kind of thing. We've parted ways, but we've parted ways because Innovative Potential has grown, and so we've been able to take the education and the time with Chris and apply it independently. So it's sort of like a mark of a good teacher. So thank you, Chris. Breskin and Parr, we worked with them on some free consultations. We kind of won one, and they were great. We worked with them in regulative consulting. So like, where does Innovative Potential's medical device fail within the regulatory structure? How does it move and progress through the regulatory schemes and schemas? So thank you to Tony Orsi, Jennifer McKenzie, Anastasia Trifonova for those consultations also. The Northern Ontario Angels Investors Group, Randy Talon and Mary Lou Irwin for their presentation facilitation and just participation with other groups doing things within Northern Ontario. They've been fantastic, and they've been available. They make themselves available to be able to handle, like, they're very much in a position that I'm in, where it's like, well, here's someone over here and here's someone over there, and if they don't talk to each other, nobody gets anything. So there's very much a same type of if they can only like meet, you know what I mean? And they're great for making people meet. Rector Milling, Rick Ellis, and Mike Trombley, machine shop supervisor and CNC machinist, respectively. They did the work on the Joey Core prototypes that are available on the website. They were great to work with, and when you have someone good to work with, it's very much the headache is not yours for the time that the other person is working. You know what I mean? That's the thank you. That's why people get paid. The headache is not mine for that brief moment when I'm not working. So they're doing their job, and they did it fantastic. They did multiple prototypes. They took a 3D print and turned it into a CNC production unit, and that was great. That was fantastic. fantastic in my eyes. So back to Maker North and Riley and Joseph. We took on the Joey prototype version in 2020 during the pandemic, and that bit of, I guess I want to call it, how do I put that? That work there was the real initial education curve of like, how does this work? Can we get multiple units? Like, how is this unit going to get machined? Who's actually going to be making this stuff? So we built the files with them. We built and we worked out all the kinks and bugs there. From Algoma University, Dr. Jennifer Foote, the third-year environmental science internship course coordinator, and Jeanette Walls, our internship student. Thank you for participating with Innovative Potential, because because we were in our patenting phase, and because a lot of this is my stance is this came from a university, so it is very friendly to a university setting, a university participation. It's like, if nobody knows about this stuff, then it all has zero value, and that's sort of Innovative Potential stands on it, where it's like in sort of ensuring. So what was done, and why I'm thankful to these people, is Jeanette authored a transcript or a document for Innovative Potential outlining various plastics and environmental concerns associated with medical devices. So in the sense that just because we can use a plastic doesn't necessarily mean, like, there's been 40 years worth of plastics development. Don't pull the first thing off the shelf. So she was great in opening up and writing out, here is this type of, in the last 20 years, here's this type of plastic that came out, here's how it's used, here's why it's good, and here's why it's, pros and cons within the medical device manufacturing community. And also, she did a great forward on how, it brought into context the advent of COVID and the wide distribution societal use of masks, and how those medical devices as masks, like, what is their life cycle? They all end up in the landfill. So medical devices is one of these, and that's a whole other talk, that basically medical devices are essential, but they have these really they can be very plastic heavy. They can be, like, IV bags are not biodegradable. Can we get biodegradable IV bags? Or syringe tips, or everything's autoclaved and then incinerated. But that becomes its own problem. So it really comes in at because Innovative Potential has the capacity to be an exclusive manufacturer, it is also the exclusive purchaser of component plastic raw ingredients. So it really was a topic that was it was more than extremely topical, and they both did a really good job. Thank you to Gowling LG and Dr. Chris Bowen again, and Juanita Penner. In this time period, and that's sort of why this document is broken into sections, because people are different. This time section really it's the thick of the thesis. So it's like, if we say this, can you do that? Does the patent examiner agree or disagree? Has another person already did this? Is this really the originality? Is this new? Is this innovative? Is this so it's very much between us and not one but two governments. When you bite off more than you can chew, you better have a whole week to digest, kind of thing. It's a bit of crocodile law there, I guess. So basically, yeah, not one but two governments. They're fantastic, and that's really its own talk. There is another talk actually about that. For Innovative Potential Incorporated itself, Kelly Boudreau, Vince Boudreau, Keegan Boudreau, Reno Zorzi, and Kevin Janu for all of their collective consultation work, and Reno Zorzi for his fabrication equipment use. He helped to get special thanks for seeing what parts of the Joey can be achieved with regular. How far can the Joey go from nothing through traditional carpentry, and what is required of the next gen 3D printing and CNC machining manufacturing processes. So this is really a big time where Innovative Potential is saying, here are all the tools that are available to manufacture. How does this thing get manufactured at least once? Give me something that's under $500 at least once that we can start selling to universities and research labs and molecule developers and veterinarians and doctors and hospitals. So that was just like all over the place all at once. And Kevin for his volunteer service artworks. They if you go to the website, he did the pipette images, he did the cancer gun images, he did some additional 3D images that are sort of in the behind the scenes stuff. But Kevin is a biomedical engineer, and it was great to have him demonstrate his skills, which helped lead him into another job. So that's really sort of Innovative Potential. It's like we'll work with. It is a bit of a meritocracy because there are standards and stringencies and restrictions to be met, but at the same time, we work with we have something that can help people. It's very much to help people. Giving help, and it's great when we get help. So that's our professional thanks. My personal thanks for the corporation. Again, my mother, father, and brother, and my extended families and their members. The amount of times I've just rambled on, bitching and complaining, are invaluable. And Dr. Ioannis Roustadakis, he was the first. He is a local oncological cancer unit practitioner, and he was the first person to really sit out of the medical community, so like a typical medical doctor, to at least provide feedback on here's what Innovative Potential is doing, here is sort of what I don't like before, or what I need to know. If this goes forward, how does this look? Where are the pitfalls from the clinical perspective standpoint? How much of a pain is this to use? Basically, do you even want to be interested in using it? That's the other half of it. So he was fantastic about that, and he was very collegial about it. We haven't really parted ways, but at the same time, we haven't really needed to have those types of initial first meetings anymore because they either happen someplace else or they just happen someplace else. So here's everybody's logos back again, and again, thank you to all of them. So this is the real sort of not panic attack. It's the fire under the commitment. This is the 2014 to 2018. We have laid the foundation and committed to actually doing Innovative Potential and building the resources required to go to manufacture, to go to engineering, to go to get the things that we want, to have a medical device product, to be able to have us to be able to move on to the next stages. And these are their people. This is those people's times to shine, basically. So professional things again. This goes starting at the bottom, not because of any reason. It's just sort of how and when I remembered, and how it all just sort of fell into place. There's no particular. It may not be, and it's not even alphabetical, so it's just a random order. So special thanks to Tundra and Pentomic. I'm going to group them together. So the Jerry Lemieux at Tundra and Charles Wood at Pentomic for their consultations. And these two individuals were the first people to sort of, accept innovative potential. They were in business first, and they're design corporations. They're sort of like, I'll call them boutique design firms, where they were the first people that I understood who understood sort of the independent entrepreneur stresses. So they're kind of my mentors and initial sort of would-be business partners, but some stuff didn't move fast enough thanks to COVID, so nothing really, we kind of put that down, but they're still appreciated. Again, Northern Ontario Angels Investors Group, Randy Talon and Mary Lou Irwin. They helped to get the word out about innovative potential. This is what we're doing. This is what we're here. Let's meet some investors. Is this palatable to investment? It is it's a massive educational investment, and it's something new. So a lot of people, even though this is like, they open my eyes in a good and also a, keep in mind, people still have people still have to eat, and there's the dailies of everyday life. This is not a daily in everyone's life. It becomes a daily later on, but it's one of those things where people say like, well, if I can have a new clicky pen, then everyone can have a new clicky pen, and that's the better return on money investment. Kind of not seeing the return on money not valuing the return on money investment for being able to see another day, or being able to do some of the things that this technology is offering. So that was the first time that my eyes were sort of really opened within an investment community to see like, well, how do people actually spend their money, and what do they spend it on? So that was sort of, and they helped put that together, which otherwise I wouldn't have been able to actually get those lessons and viewpoints. So thank you. The first thank you to Northern Ontario and Angels Investors Group. And then Maker North Incorporated, at this time, in this time period from 2014 to 2018, Mike Saketa was with them, and he did some of the initial 3D design and 3D printing for a second unit chemotherapeutic galvanostat prototype thing. And again, Joseph Bertrand, who set up the makerspace to the public, kind of beat them to their grand opening a little bit there, but I've been doing business with them from their start, because we sort of started up at the same time. They're a bit more public access, but they're still available, and check out their website. Special thank you. Oh yeah, Erin Alessandrini from Comic Dog Design did the Innovative Potential logo. I kind of was spiraling out of, it's not a spiral out of control, but it's like, when you have a whole bunch of ideas, it's like, well, which one's going to be the one best one? And he was the one who just sort of like, cut them all down, said, okay, this is what you actually kind of want. This is, and then this is what it looks like with a bit of design and just simplification, because it's going to be it's the symbol, the Innovative Potential logo. This is our second logo. It's a third logo, but the original logo is is actually at the top of it, is right here. The Innovative Potential logo here. That's it. That's him. That's Aaron and Alessandrini. So thank you for making my life easier. Alright. And at Gowling WLG again, Dr. Chris Bone, but not Brown. Dr. Glenn DeLevy and Juanita Penner. Thanks for meeting with me, because during this time period, this is when I first meet everyone, where it's just like, okay, we're doing this, we're gonna do this, we're doing this, we're doing this, this is how it works. Like, thank you for the patience and understanding of how all of this actually works. How does all of this get put together? And thank you for learning this with me, basically, because if you don't take the time to learn with the people, you can't get paid by anyone. You know what? It's different. It's not an object purchase. It's not a product purchase. It's a skills and services purchase. So it's like going to someone to have your house flipped, or a construction group to say, I want this dream house, or I want this house, or I want my car painted, or I don't know. That's kind of like where custom build stuff starts, or I need my estate planned, or I need to have a custom laws made up. So that's sort of the big thank you here, where it's just like, these people learned with me during my learning phase, and you have to find people to learn with you, otherwise nothing happens. And these people are willing to learn. And that's the great part about them. So Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation, do I want to group them? I'm gonna group them together. So the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation, the Sault Ste. Marie Innovation Centre, and the Sault Ste. Marie Economic Development Corporation. All three of these groups help to initially provide grant funds for innovative potential startup. And working at those three companies was hired in Otham for the Northern Innovation Program at the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation, Taylor Trikoch for the NRC IRAP Professional Services Program, and I can't remember the FSAP acronym, grant facilitator at the Sault Ste. Marie Innovation Centre, and then Zoltan Vertag for the Starter Company 2 program mentorship at the Sault Ste. Marie Economic Development Corporation. So these people worked with me to understand what this application is and how it works, and basically from the transaction point going to the rest of the grant system, say, well, here's how the rest of the grant system works, here's how it's going to operate, here's what these things are going to be and how they work. And that's pretty much what and how this entity was founded on and founded by and founded with. Thank you to InsureCo and Michael Parlow, our insurance advisor and associate broker partner. They provided the small business insurance for our startup phase. And again, thank you to MasterCard for the credit lending, and our BMO Bank of Montreal for debit and financial transaction, and Crystal the teller. I have to apologize to her because I cannot remember her last name, but she saved Innovative Potential. When money is tight at startup, she was there to help us save money. And if anybody from BMO ever listens to this, basically promote her and pay her more, because I'm actually thankful for her. The rest of everything can sort of like just, you know, go away. But she is sort of the diamond. She's one of those diamond in the rough people that she's like, she made my life so much easier because then that money that I saved now goes to better development. It now goes to make more time. I can afford more time with Riley to be able to make the design better. That's how like actual like people work and operate. And that, it's like, give her like $50 extra just to do her day job. Like, just give her a $50 raise. Like, that's the type of appreciation that these people deserve. Particularly Crystal. It's one of those business lessons where it's just like, you're not there to make money. You're there to do stuff. Money is just there for thank you. If you want all the thank you in the world, start printing your own thank you toilet paper. You know, this has taught me a lot about money and where and why and how money is used, but primarily it's basically like a giant thank you card. It's 20 thank yous because it's 20 times more of a pain in the ass to do something. So therefore it's $20. At least it's sort of in the modern world right now. Anyway, back to BDO and Chris Sonata. He took the time to educate me on how the tax system works and reads and understands itself. So basically the tax system is a money reporting system, and how value and money get interchanged, it was great. So Chris Sonata is a chartered accountant and chartered professional accountant at the BDO. And he taught me a lot. I kind of picked up a little bit on my own, but he taught me the core sort of basic foundations of money and financial reporting. It wasn't a big step from scientific reporting, but still the discipline of reporting and being able to keep everything, and different things have different expenditures, and different expenditures have different reasons. And it's just mostly just being organized. And to the Media Nation of Ontario, thank you for Colleen Walls and Patty Morrow for their career development facilitator. And Colleen Walls was a career development facilitator, and Patty Morrow was a self-employment program she wasn't the provider, she's the representative of that program. So we accessed the self-employment program. I accessed these three programs for Innovative Potential prior to Innovative Potential's, or it's not prior to, but it's in association with Innovative Potential's foundation within the same sort of 3-month period. And they were great to get me in contact with Chris Sonata and help to set up some of the additional education costs associated with small business operations. Or it's like, hey, you're gonna go strike out on your own a little bit here. Here's some stuff that you don't really, like, you need to know as the owner, not as the person needing the services. So there's sort of there's the Media Nation of Ontario. These two programs have been the best programs that I've ever dealt with. Over the last 6 years, these two programs were the easiest programs to access, to get involved with, to have distributed. It's like these are no brainer, no overhead types of distributions, and I don't know if they still exist, but they were fantastic. They made my life so easy. A lot of the other things are just like nobody wants to do any, like a lot of some of the other programs are just like tedious and teeth pulling, needing like multiple forms required, like multiple iterations of the same information required, or not accepting of your current informational state. They want your informational state put into no, it's like, here's the information, we take the information, if we have to come back to it, if we have to do something with it, we'll deal with it then. Right now, It's more about, get you out there, get moving and complete the stuff you did, because in the amount of time it takes you to fill out a form, you could have completed all the stuff. That is the best program design that I have ever encountered, from university and high government grants like CHIR and NSERC, all the way through to the starter companies and the entrepreneurship stuff. The Métis did it right the first time. So thanks to the people who design those programs and the people who administrate them, because they are the fastest. They're like an oil slick. You just slide through them. It's fantastic. It's amazing. That's what you want. That's what you want in everything that you do. And then Innovative Potential Incorporated. A special thank you to Kelly Boudreau and Vince Boudreau for their consultations. A lot of it was just sort of understanding. You go from your personal financial stuff. You go from your personal tax situation, but then you go into you're transitioning into a business, a tax business, a business tax situation. So that learning curve from them was great. So my parents have been riding the highs and lows with Innovative Potential as members of Innovative Potential, and happily I was able to retire them from Innovative Potential quite successfully after a 6-year period. So kudos, Kelly and Vince, kudos. But they're still my parents, so they still get to hear everything else. So my personal thanks to my mother and father, my extended family, some of their members, Tristan Grandinetti, Dr. Ioannis Oustinakis, and Jeanette Wallace. Particularly to Tristan Grandinetti. His business is computers. His business is technology. His business is that tech infrastructure. He went off to be an accountant for some unknown reason, but his real business is fishing my computer out of the dead drive hellhole that I put it into. No, that's his real skill and talent. He pulled my hard drive. He pulled my school computer hard drive from a complete crash and restored the hard drive back to life, basically. And for that, that is your business. That is like, if I could have a chief technology officer, he's the chief technology officer of Innovative Potential. Thank you. Anyway, do we get Jeanette in this one? Actually, yeah, Jeanette here also. She was in this time frame, and I'll do Dr. Ioannis first. Was very quick to respond to emails and just sort of let me understand sort of what is going on with the clinical application of drugs in the oncology unit, sort of in the rural world. So special thanks to him and his openness. And Jeanette Wallace, she loaned me some of her college textbooks to be able to understand, okay, here are the basic principles of like college, of business startup. Here are the things you need for business. And so here's your accounting books, here's your financial, here's your taxes, here's what a revenue stream is. So without her loaning and lending me her textbooks, probably would have had a lot different of a startup kind of thing. So personal thanks to these people. And everybody's logo again. So this is probably going to run for another 10 minutes or so while we close out the 2014 to 2018 era of Innovative Potential and move on. This list is shorter, it's a little bit quicker. And this is the 2009 to 2013 era. It's not Innovative Potential itself in this era. Innovative Potential doesn't exist in this time frame. It is very much, how do I say this? Before Innovative Potential, there was the Hourglass Company. And this is part of the Hourglass Company. So this is basically me at university. So special thanks to the National Sciences and Engineering Research Council of Canada, NSERC, and they provided some funds for the grant for the initial Masters of Science thesis work that I did. So Innovative Potential is spun off from my Masters of Science thesis work, and this is sort of the people involved, right? And this is thank you to them. So thank you to Dr. I always say his name, Dr. Gabrielski. I always say his first name wrong, but it's Wojciech Gabrielski for consultation. He is not NMR. He's a gas chromatographic expert. So we were doing, not what we were doing, but thank you for being there when I needed you. Dr. Richard Vanderbilt, the MSc or the Master Thesis Committee member and editor. Dr. Julie Demarchand for equipment training. Dr. David Josephi, MSc Thesis Committee member and editor. And these people were part of the Department of Molecular and Cellular Biology at the University of Guelph. From the Department of Biomedical Sciences, Ontario Veterinary College, at the University of Guelph, Dr. Alicia Villoria Petit, MSc Thesis Co-Advisor, MSc Committee Examiner, and the woman who taught me how to culture cells. So there's a lot of respect for that woman. She's one of the co-authors on our paper as well. She has expertise in metastasis. So taught me a lot of stuff. She taught me cancer biology. She's sort of the reason why I have that cancer biology wheel for Innovative Potential now. She's great to talk to. Machine Shop, Department of Chemistry at the University of Guelph, Casey Gleinen, for partial assembly of the original unit. He glued some stuff together and helped make little fabrication sheets and stuff. So he was great. And then from the Electrochemical Technology Center and the Department of Chemistry at the University of Guelph, Jamie Hayner for consultations with regards to synthetic organic chemistry. Dr. Mark Baker. And then the rest of the people were involved with a thesis defense examiner, unless otherwise stated. So Dr. Mark Baker, Dr. Francis Isabel Azano, Dr. Jacek Wachowski on the, and the professor who taught me advanced electrochemistry or the electrochemistry grad course. Dr. Doran Bajan, our lab supervisor, colleague, and there's more Doran has more consultation probably with me more than almost anybody. He's a PEng, and he's since moved on from the University of Guelph, but he's an engineer in the electrochemical sciences. And Dr. Nigel Bunce, my supervisor, my MSc Thesis Co-Advisor, the MSc Thesis Committee member, examiner, and the thesis editor. And Nigel was the sort of first person who took a chance, and it's paying dividends. He's the reason why you bet on a 69 average student. Because we're having this conversation today because of Nigel Bunce. He is also a co-author on our peer review paper. And he taught me principles of toxicology way back when. So now a personal thanks to my mother, father, brother for this time period. My extended families and their members. They get to hear all of the, here are my problems and here's how I'm going through them. Can you soundboard my reality, basically? And they do a great job at it. Special thank you to Dr. Robert Bruce, corn geneticist, Michael Ianni, and Stefan Illick. And these three gentlemen, people, bros, if you would prefer the term, they help keep me sane basically through this learning, this emotional learning curve and time, because a thank you to my uncle, Dr. Zorzi. It was his dad from colon cancer that reignited this fuck cancer campaign basically, and set all of this sort of into motion at a real emotional crucible, if you will. So here's everyone's logos again from 2009 to 2013, and and a professional thank you to the unsung hero, Dr. Hulan, from the Electrochemical Technology Center at the University of Guelph's Chemistry Department, for the use of his HPLC. When ours broke down, his was there. Thank you. Okay, and finally, this talk, this conversation, this whatever, this document is this thing is a living is a living videotape, if it can be that way. To recognize and thank all those in participatory roles who have helped or are currently helping to make the chemotherapeutic potentiostat, galvanostat, electroactivated chemotherapy, and or Innovative Potential Incorporated a success. This document is divided by active years and denotes the organization, person, and participatory role of the project. So basically, the people who, if something drops out of our association that is meaningful and tractionable, then we add them into this document. I'm not going to have, I'll come back in 6 years and do this again, do this video again. But, there's 50 minutes of thank yous for 6 years worth of work. 6, probably closer to about 15. Probably closer to a decade actually. But at the same time, they're remembered and they're not taken for granted. So those are credits and thank yous for 6 years at Innovative Potential. They helped to make the cancer gun a reality. Oh yeah, and thank you to Vince Boudreau for wiring the first cancer gun ever. Thank you. And my mom. She helped to make, and Renee Boudreau. She is my aunt, and she helped to really. She got to go into 2022, even better. Renee Boudreau for education into the garment industry, and Kelly Boudreau for seamstress services and project development skills in the garment industry. So Renee Boudreau helped to have the Innovative Potential t-shirts. We had a bunch of t-shirts made up. She helped do the consulting for basically education on materials designs, new types of techniques for clothing decoration, etc. And Kelly Boudreau helped to lay out patterning and design for one of our hooded jacket designs, the Red Star. So those are more internal to some of our subsidiaries right now, but special thank you to those people. And just, I think that's everyone. You're never going to get everyone because it does move quickly. It moves so quickly. Thank you. Thank you. If you're watching at all, thank you. And hopefully we'll see you again in another 6 years. Okay.